Movie Frappe, your K-cinema guide.
Train to Busan looks completely different through Soo-an's eyes. Hello everyone, this is Movie Frappe. Today we expose Soo-an's insane survival journey. Forget the zombies. The real horror happened in her heart. This breakdown will blow your mind. Let's go right now. Movie Frappe, let's begin. Soo-an wasn't just a victim trapped on this hellish train. She was the emotional compass for every single person there. We are breaking down her trauma into real psychological layers. Get ready to see the movie through her terrified eyes. Why did she sing that song at the final end? It was not just to remember her father's voice today. It was a strategic move to manage her deep grief. You never analyzed her character this way before, I promise. Train 406, it was supposed to be a simple trip. But the scenery outside was not a movie anymore. People were screaming and pushing. It was total chaos. The train turned into a cold, steel cage of death. Soo-an watched adults choosing selfishness over human survival. Soo-an felt totally disconnected from her busy father at first. Seok-woo was always distracted by his very demanding office job. He bought the wrong gift, showing his huge emotional distance. The father-daughter bond was broken before the train ride started. She lived in a world where her feelings were ignored. Soo-an wanted his presence, not expensive toys or plastic money. The trip was supposed to be a simple birthday joy. It turned into the most stressful moment of her life. She watched her father prioritize his own safety over others. This shattered her view of him as a strong hero. He closed doors, making her feel even more isolated inside. She saw the selfish side of the man she trusted. This was a crisis of trust, not just zombie chaos. She faced the reality of his deeply flawed, broken character. It is painful for a child to watch this reality.
수아나.
아빠는 자기밖에 몰라.
Emotionally sensitive children feel love with sharp intensity, but they also feel neglect much deeper. Small silence can feel like painful rejection. Small warmth can feel like sunlight after rain. And this is where Soo-an becomes remarkable. Her heart stays open despite fear and pain. She keeps choosing empathy in brutal chaos. That is rare, even for many adults. And that quiet strength changes everyone around her.
저기 어제 아빠가 수아리 노래하는 거 봤는데 학교에서. 노래하다 말았지? 왜 그랬어? 끝까지 해야지 바보같이. 모든 일이 그래. 시작하면 중간에 포기하면 안 되는 거야. 우리 수환이 오늘 생일인데 아빠가 엄마한테 꼭 데려다 줄게.
아깐 정말 무서웠어요. 아빠를 다시는 못 보게 될 것 같아서. 어제 노래도 아빠한테 들려주고 싶어서 연습했던 노래예요. 그래서 못 불렀어요. 아빠가 안 보여서. 계속 같이 있어줄 거죠?
Then the train turns into pure human chaos. Screams rise louder than the rushing steel tracks. Safe spaces vanish before children can process fear. Soo-an watches everything with wide, trembling eyes. But then she sees something even darker. Fear makes ordinary people brutally selfish overnight. Doors close while desperate voices beg outside. Compassion collapses under panic and suspicion. Even her father chooses survival over strangers. That moment shakes her small world deeply.
뭐해? 빨리 와.
어디 가요?
우리 이쪽으로 갈 거야.
우리만요?
상태만
사람들한테
지켜보자.
말해줄래요.
수아나, 신경 쓰지 마. 그냥 각자 알아서 하는 거야.
아빠는 자기밖에 몰라.
This is where Suan surprises everyone. She still reaches toward frightened, hurting people. She chooses kindness where adults choose fear. She protects warmth in a freezing world. And that quiet courage becomes incredibly powerful. Because kindness is strongest when fear grows loudest.
저희가 너 할머니면서 언니가 앉아.
할머니 여기 앉으세요.
수아나, 이럴 때 안 그래도 돼.
뭐예요?
양보 말이야. 지금 같은 때는 자기 자신이 제일 우선이야.
우리 할머니도 맨날 보러 아파요.
Korean kids often learn to read the room very quickly. In Korea, quickly sensing the mood around you is called nunchi. Children remember fear through feelings, not details. They forget scenes but keep emotions for years. Terror leaves fingerprints deep inside childhood memory. Children absorb emotional chaos like silent sponges. Betrayal from adults cuts especially deep inside, but one loving act can rewrite pain. This is where Suan's resilience quietly forms. She sees darkness, yet still believes in light. That is rare, even among grown adults. And that is why her story matters.
Then the story reaches its most brutal moment. One by one, her protectors begin disappearing. Warm voices fade into grief and silence. Her small world keeps breaking before her eyes. But the deepest wound is still coming. Her father finally becomes the man she needed. He chooses her future over his final breath. He chooses love over terror at the very end. And suddenly, Suan truly sees her father. Not a cold man trapped inside ambition, not a distant father buried in work, but a man willing to give everything. This is where heartbreak becomes sacred love. But then comes the moment nobody forgets. In unbearable grief, Suan begins to sing. Her trembling voice cuts through death and darkness. And somehow, that fragile song keeps hope alive.
Children process overwhelming grief through meaningful rituals. Sometimes that ritual becomes tears or silence. Sometimes it becomes a song holding memory together. Suan's song is more than mourning. It is grief trying desperately not to break. It is love refusing to disappear forever. And here is what quietly changes everything. She stops being someone protected by adults. She becomes someone carrying love forward alone. That is where childhood quietly becomes strength. Many viewers miss Suan's vital psychological role here. She is the mirror of lost human nature for everyone. She turns simple horror into a real, deep, human tragedy. She is the bridge between the past and the future. She was the emotional engine driving this story forward. Adults changed whenever they truly looked at her. Hardened hearts softened in her quiet presence. Seok-woo finally remembered what love truly means. Sang-hwa fought harder because innocence still mattered. Even hopeless people found reasons to keep moving. But her greatest strength was something even deeper. She saw evil and still chose compassion. She witnessed selfishness and still trusted people. She felt terror and still kept loving. That is strength many adults never reach. And that final song means far more now. It is not just grief escaping her heart. It is innocence refusing to die in darkness. It is love surviving where everything else collapsed. And somehow, that small voice saves humanity's hope.
Train to Busan was never only about survival. It was about keeping your heart human. And Suan carried that truth to the end. If you were Suan in that final moment, what would you say to your father? Comment below, and let us talk about it right now. That is today's hidden story from Movie Frappe. If this touched your heart, please subscribe. We will meet again in the next story. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Movie Frappe for more K-cinema guides.